Very good morning to you all, and welcome to the fifth episode of BIT Career LaunchPad Workshop Series 2022. First and foremost, I cordially invite Professor Lasit Gunawardana to welcome you all and address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. A second, sorry. Sorry, I'm not in a regular place today, so apologies. Very good morning to everyone. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah, so welcome to the fifth day of the Career Launchpad, and we hope to complete this Career Launchpad workshop series this week. So we'll be having the 6th, 7th, and 8th also sessions this week. So basically, today's session, as you remember, during the past, we've had sessions targeting different pillars of which sectors that you could be interested in moving into your internship. Today's session is a bit more eye-opener in that we open you out to bigger opportunities beyond the internship for you to think outside box and look at how you as a person with a who ultimately in 6 months time you complete your degree, and once you do so, will you be looking at just entering the workforce directly as a employee, or would you be willing to take it forward and start employing others in your own venture? So this is a important topic when you consider today's context in our country, and today's session therefore is devoted on these aspects. And to talk you through that, we have our guest speakers today. So I'd like to welcome Ms. Nevindri Premratna, Senior Manager from the ICT Agency of Sri Lanka, who will be taking you across the initiatives that ICT has done, which indeed is very helpful for you to be aware of and to get use of these opportunities. Then we also have two of our alumni who will be joining in, Mr. Geet Balasuriya, Country Manager for the German Investment Bank, who was one of our first, who has been a member of our first batch. I think he will be joining shortly, who has multinational experience. And he has also contributed throughout this time, connecting with me and reaching out back to the alumni of the department to help them. We also have Mr. Prasanna Pallagedara, who will also be joining soon. He's based in, so he's from our third batch, who graduated in, I think, 2011, if I'm not mistaken. So he took an entrepreneurial track from the early stages of his career, and perhaps the most successful of our alumni in that aspect. So back in 2019, he actually was the main sponsor for our first DHAC. He has two companies, and now he's based in Dubai. His companies are running from Dubai and serving multinational clients. They have office in Sri Lanka as well. So I believe you will be getting valuable insights on today's topic from each of our speakers. So I hand you back, Pasandu. So hope you will be following the sessions and do ask questions when the opportunities arises, and we will so hope you will be engaged throughout the sessions like you have been in the past. Over to you, Pasandu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So on the fifth day, we are going to talk about entrepreneurship. And we have with us today one of the most resource persons from the industry to give you a better insight on the topic. Without further delay, let me introduce our keynote speaker for today's workshop. She's none other than Ms. Nevindri Premratna, Senior Manager in Startup Development of ICTA. She started her career as a software developer at Informatic International Limited. She has 10 years plus experience in the field of software development. There she joined ICTA as a project officer, and currently she's the senior manager in startup ecosystem development of ICTA. Moreover, she is a business mentor at Hutch Works and a visiting lecturer at the Royal Institute of Colombo. Ms. Navindri, I warmly welcome you and would like to hand you the session.
Thank you very much, Pasando. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, all the distinguished guests, our lecturers, and all the students. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me for this as a keynote speaker at the BIS Career LaunchPad. It's a great honor to be here today. And so Sri Javardhanapura University, it's a university that we always work together with. We have done a lot of initiatives together with the University of Sri Javardhanapura. We have so many enthusiastic lecturers and students in this university. And when we talk about the university itself, it's a very well diversified ecosystem that you have there. So you're blessed to be in this university, I would say. So I'm starting my note with that. And just like Pasando introduced me, so I'm Nevindari Premaratna, currently working as a senior manager at ICT Agency of Sri Lanka in the Startup Ecosystem Development SBU under the digital economy pillar. So the reason why I highlight that once again is because this job role, the senior manager startup ecosystem development. So this role was not there in Sri Lanka 5 years back. So everything is evolving. The startup ecosystem is developing and evolving every day with this technology. And the jobs that you were thinking of when you get into the school, maybe those are no longer there. And there are so many new opportunities and new job roles in the market. And my job role is also something like that. And that's the main reason I actually no longer working as a developer at this day. But using that knowledge, I'm supporting our startups that are out there using my knowledge as a senior manager in startup ecosystem development. So I thought of sharing that also a little bit, so you can see what sort of avenues that you can absorb and grab when you are working in this space. So with that, let me share my screen. So since we are talking about ICT, I felt like I should give you a small idea about what this ICTA is, since I'm representing this agency. So most of you may already know. So ICT Agency of Sri Lanka is an agency under the Ministry of Technology, which is directly overlooked by the president. Still, it's the same state. So we don't know how it will gonna change in the future with the current situation. But the most important part is the second one, the second sentence. Startup ecosystem development pillar was formed in 2020 with the vision of driving towards the startup nation by 2025. So if I give you a small idea about how the startup ecosystem development SBU started. So earlier we didn't have any specific unit as such, but in 2020, ICTA structure also got changed to accommodate these sort of new technologies and to support new trends of the country and the world. So with that, we've actually come across three main pillars. So one is digital economy, and the other one is digital government, and the third one is digital services. So I'm not going to explain about all the pillars, but I'll tell you what this digital economy does. So under this digital economy, we have 5 main business units. So one is technology industry development. As you know, here that you know what it actually means, technology industry development of the technology industry. And then we have a separate business unit called startup ecosystem development. When you are hearing this, you might think, so anyway, startup ecosystem is part of technology industry development. But the reason why actually we kind of took it out is we know the ecosystem, the nature of the startups is quite different. Because of that reason, we need to treat them in a totally different way. They deal with the time a lot because they are coming up with new innovations, and most of these startups, the technologies that they're using, they're quite new to the society. And this will be the first time that someone is coming up with that particular technology. So they need further support, and they have to fail fast if they're trying something new. They cannot just, continue that for 2 to 3 years. So because of that reason, the way we should treat this ecosystem is quite different. By understanding that and by understanding the trend of the world, and because most of the countries, they are kind of investing a lot for these startups, because they see what sort of return on investment that they can get, how fast they can get using startups. So with all that, we have come up with the startup ecosystem development business unit. And apart from that, we have another 3 business units called capacity building. Capacity building in the sense, whatever you do, whether it is startup ecosystem or the technology industry development, you need that workforce, IT workforce, that talent to continue that work. So you have to build the capacity. It's not just about building the capacity of students, it's also building the capacity of the general public and also the government employees. Because at the end of the day, you go and get these services from government employees, public citizens, or another person who's working in the private sector. So they also should be aware about the new technologies. Otherwise, it will be a huge clash. And then the regional cluster development business unit. In there, what we do is, we know that Western Province, Kandy, Jaffna, these are kind of, booming when it comes to this technology and IT industry. The Western Province as a whole, it's kind of, evolving, comparing with other provinces and districts. But we have to do the same thing, replicate the same thing in other regions while enhancing the facilities, the infrastructure in Western Province as well. So the job role of the regional cluster development is that. And the last one is technology diffusion. Technology diffusion in the sense, just like I mentioned earlier, so whatever the technology that we develop, at the end of the day, the people who are working in non-tech verticals, it can be fishery, agriculture, health, so they have to absorb this technology. So how can we diffuse this technology for these people, for these industries? So the responsibility of this business unit is that, the technology diffusion. So basically altogether it is technology industry development, startup ecosystem development, capacity building, regional cluster development, and technology diffusion. So with all that, we have this digital economy pillar, and our vision is the whole vision of ICTA. So it's basically a digitally inclusive and prosperous Sri Lanka. And our mission is to serve the nation with effective digital solutions by practicing and demonstrating of innovation, higher standards of ethics and professionalism in order to enable transforming lives of Sri Lanka citizens. And that is a very timely initiative and a need right now. So I hope that you have a kind of understanding what we do at ICTA. And apart from that, it's not just an ad hoc initiatives that we do in our startup ecosystem development unit, because we always follow a data-driven approach. We want to understand where we are right now and where we can go and how we can do it. So very recently, in 2017, we got partnered with Startup Genome. It's a global policy and R&D related organization. So we call it, that is the main research center of startup ecosystem, global startup ecosystem, because they are the people who publish the global startup ecosystem report. So we partnered with them and we continuously work together with them to get more data and information about our ecosystem. So as you can see here, our ecosystem, Sri Lankan startup ecosystem, is in activation phase. So since we have less than 1,000 startups in our country, and based on the global connectedness and the talent pool that we have, based on multiple performances and indications, still we are in the activation stage. So this is why you can see the Sri Lanka in the activation end, and then we have to go to this globalization stage, and for that, at least we have to have 1,000 active startups. It's not just about the number, and we really need to think about the quality of these startups as well, because at the end of the day, the purpose of having startups is actually bringing money to the country and improve the livelihood of people. So this is the 5-year strategy that we are expecting. So basically that we have think of when we are going ahead with our national digital economy strategy. So one of the main thing is, as you can see, I've highlighted here, the 1,000 startups. So by end of 2025, we want to have 1,000 startups in our startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka. And at the same time, we want to see 3 billion USD export revenue. Right now, according to the statistics we have last year, it's somewhere around 1.4 to 1.7 billion USD. So we really need to double up the value by end of 2024. And at the same time, we have to increase the IT professionals to 300,000. And according to the IT workforce survey that we have done in 2018, so basically the beginning of 2019, it was somewhere around 124,000. So you can see what sort of a supply that we have and the demand that we need to create. So there's a huge gap. So to fulfill this demand, you have a lot of things to do. And since you are coming from this IT faculty, I hope that you also see what sort of opportunities that you can get out of it, since there's a huge demand. So with that, so as I already mentioned, so we really need to achieve these 1,000 startups by end of 2024. But if I tell you some numbers, so in 2017, according to the records that we have, there were around 150 to 300 startups in our startup ecosystem. But right now in 2022, now we have around 700 startups. So in 2020, it was somewhere around 400. So you can see it's quite improving. The numbers are quite improving. But we really want to get into these 1,000 startups while increasing the quality of these startups as well. When we are increasing the quality, then only we can get the necessary output of it. It's not just about the number. So some might think that, why do you need to have this, just 1,000 startups? It's just a number. What is the what is the benefit that you can get out of it at the end of the day? It's not just about the number. So when you are creating that ecosystem around you, when you have 1,000 startups around you, the support system around it also grows. And the ecosystem enablers, they also get into this space and support these people. And those businesses also booming. So that network, that whole ecosystem grows around it. So that's why this number is important. And just like I mentioned, the startup quality. So that's why we need more incubators, accelerators, we need more mentors, resource people, even university get into this ecosystem and running these entrepreneurship related programs to educate young university students in the path of entrepreneurship, to inculcate the mindset of entrepreneurship. So this is why we need to increase the startup quality. And then increase early stage funding. This is something that we knew for some time, because even though we have certain grant programs and funding mechanisms, that is not enough. That's why most of our young generation and even the people who get into this entrepreneurship journey, they don't stay long, because they the risk that they have to take is quite high, since they don't have any funding channels, funding streams to continue their businesses sometimes. So they have to bootstrap in the sense they have to put their own money into the business. So it's quite risky when they see that, okay, my friend is doing a job in under another employer and he is earning 400,000 to 500,000, and I'm just putting my 1,500 to 3,000 rupees into my business, and what I'm earning. So that when you hit that mindset, it's kind of difficult for you to shift from there. So So these are some of the things that we're trying to improve. This is where we focus on because we understand that these are quite important for our entrepreneurs to get into the next level. So why I'm keep talking about this thing is, so just like I mentioned, so we are talking about this data-driven approach, and so increase the startup output. To increase the startup output, according to the research, the deep dive assessment that we have done with Startup Genome also, they've identified Sri Lanka's #1 growth opportunities around increasing homegrown entrepreneurship. What we meant by homegrown entrepreneurship is, so basically in some countries like Dubai and the countries who lack of young generation. So for an example, Japan. So they have very the numbers, the population. If you take the population in Japan, so the elderly numbers are quite high than the young generation. So they are kind of inviting other entrepreneurs to their country, just like Dubai. So since they know that talent is quite lacking, they're inviting others to come there and get established. Even the Singapore, we see the same thing. But in Sri Lanka, it's quite important to support homegrown entrepreneurs because they see the required talent is here already. So we can do so much more. And at the same time, what they see is, with over many universities in the ecosystem, Startup Genome strongly believes that Sri Lanka has the potential to grow startups output by 5x by inculcating this culture in universities. Because they have come up with an example in Waterloo, Canada, how their university ecosystem supported entrepreneurship, and based on that, how they have evolved and how they reach certain numbers in startup ecosystem. So with that, they nicely compare and show us, by supporting our universities to inculcate entrepreneurship, how we can grow startup output by 5x. It's a massive growth that they are telling us, they are indicating. So you are part of it. So I really want you to I really want to highlight this factor to you. So maybe you can be part of it. I actually took some stats from 2020 to show you how many university students and higher educational institutions, so the students from higher education institutions, universities are there in our country. As you can see the numbers, so basically it's over 100,000 in UGC intake, and external and open distance learning, it's over 200,000, and foreign to over 200. So we have a massive workforce. So at the end of the day, we can see a massive workforce. So you are also part of that. So if I take this, this is something that I always love to see. As you can see, I know that, so we always talk that the female representation is quite low, but even if you can see the technology pillar here, so these female numbers are also quite increasing. It's a great thing to see. And at the same time, you can see in other verticals, apart from engineering and technology, so basically females are leading. But at the same time, when you go to the workforce, we don't see few female representation, and especially when it comes to the leadership, we see few female leadership. So this is where we really need to address that problem. It's not about the war between female and male. Basically, it's about the workforce, because the more diversified the workforce get, you can get great results out of it. So we see the technology gap here is kind of, reducing, and we have a lot more to do when it comes to engineering and agriculture. I just wanted to show you this because you also can get a good understanding about what sort of a space that you are in and what sort of opportunities that you can get out of it, since you know the structure, the ecosystem around you. And as you can see, undergraduate enrollment by university. So this is something that you should be proud of. So University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, so you have the biggest number here, which means you have the biggest diversified ecosystem in your university. So we've been working with other universities as well, but when it comes to Sri Jayawardhanapura University, one thing that we realized was, so you're working with other faculties as well. So inter-faculty relationship is quite good in Sri Jayawardhanapura University. So that is something we always love to see. So this is a great step to start entrepreneurship as well, because you meet like-minded people with different cultures, and then you see things differently. So it's a great space if you really want to start your journey as an entrepreneur, because that support system is already there. And these lecturers are supporting you a lot because we've been working with them so long and we know how passionate they are. So it's wonderful if you can start your journey, and we are here to support you. So with that, I feel like I should show you some of the programs, initiatives that ICTA conducts to support youth to get into the path of entrepreneurship. So this is one of the initiatives that we have conducted, and we had to stop it after 2019 with this Easter attack. Then we had this COVID hit, so we couldn't go and do these programs physically, but we are planning to do it once again. Again, we have a problem with this transportation issue, but right after that we are planning to do that, and we kind of planning to do that half of it virtually and the rest of it physically. So this Imagine If is a boot camp. It's a 3-day boot camp that we have conducted for all the undergraduates to inculcate the mindset of entrepreneurship. So we have covered this idea generation, business model canvas, design thinking, and mentoring. So you can see some of the results during the time period of 2018 and 2019. How many undergraduates participated and how many of them pitched their business ideas. It's okay to fail, but now you know what are the main things that you should think of. You don't have to start your business right away, but understanding the culture, what are the initial steps that you should think of is quite important. So when you even right after this, you might go to the industry, but at the same time, with the things that you learn, you might think, okay, so using that I can, start something of my own. So this Imagine If bootcamp, on first day, we are actually educate all the university students by talking about what are the main areas that they should think of, just like I mentioned in this slide. And we actually bring a role model and entrepreneur to that particular program. So he's sharing his journey of entrepreneurship there. And we ask them to come up with new business ideas and try to refine that, and we support them how they should refine that business idea, and we give them some time to think about it on the second day. So these are not 3 consecutive days that I'm talking about, and we give them some space. And again, after 2 weeks of time, we meet them, we mentor them, we bring resource people to check their business plan, we support them to refine it, come up with a proper business model and everything. And again, we give them some time to refine their model based on the feedback they got from the resource people. And on the final day, we have the pitching session. With that, we support them to understand how an entrepreneur should think and what are the main areas they should think of through this program. So this is one thing. So you can see some of the memories that we have in this program. So this is how we conducted this program. And the other one of the flagship program that we have here at ICTA is Spiralation. It's a seed funding program for tech startups. It's not just about the support, the mentoring or the networking that we provide, even we provide them a grant. So all this time we supported over 100 startups, even financially. So we provided the 1.5 million grant for each startup. But it's not just, giving them money. So they have to show how capable they are to get that money, and we are not giving them that money right away. So we set up certain set of milestones by sitting with them and by understanding the roadmap their roadmap, and then we define certain set of activities, and by after achieving those things, we provide them money as tranches. So with this spiralation program, basically it's the government incubator accelerator program that we have here at ICTA. So we have supported over 100, just like I mentioned, and we were able to create over 800 jobs through this program. And so these startups have gone over 30 countries. So they've scaled their businesses to other countries as well. And we've invested over 130 million as grants for this program so far. So it's a 6-month incubation program that we are talking about. So throughout that period, we provide them training through workshops, and then we provide them market access opportunities. We connect them with other markets, not just local, even the global. And we actually support them to achieve that particular targets, because it's not just, they are running their business. Whenever they need support, we just, simply jump in and make those necessary connections and bring necessary technology and business experts for that particular business and support them throughout that process. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Right. Give me a second. I think I clicked something
No,
irrelevant.
we can't see the screen.
I hope you can see right now.
Right. No,
Okay.
we can see.
Perfect. Then, so if I'm talking about spiralation, these are some of the spiralation startups. Only few startups. I actually picked these startups for this purpose only. The reason is most of these startups started their entrepreneurship journey right after their university career. Magic Beat, Nephron, even though they started working in under an employer, at the same time, they started their entrepreneurship journey as well. So Basha, Danika is someone, everyone knows. And Magic Beat Nigara, he is from Morato University. Nif from Shamila Somasundaram Univisa, he is from another private university. So these people, they were so enthusiastic, so passionate about starting something of their own. And these are kind of, quite improving, and they are kind of going to other markets and bringing revenue to the country. So this is why I thought of sharing this information also with you. These are just few startups that I wanted to share with you, as most of these entrepreneurs started their entrepreneurship journey right after the university graduation. So these are some of the photos in a spiralation program. So after the workshops, and the one that you can see in right top corner. So this is this photograph was taken in Spain. So basically in another exhibition, startup exhibition. So we are supporting them on going to other markets as well. So likewise, there are certain things that we do to support our startups. And apart from the programs that we have, so at ICTA, we have a separate space called Sparks Lab. So this space is totally allocated for the startups. So if you really want to come here and get further support from us, or if you have any certain issues, for an example, with these power interruptions, so the Wi-Fi connectivity, or if you really want to have a space to have a meeting with a client, I know that you cannot, invite them to come and, meet you at your house sometimes. So you can simply make a booking or talk to us and come to this place and, get your work done. And at the same time, if you need further assistance for your startup, you can contact us also. So we are also going to be there. So you can, meet us, and we'll be able to support you in that regard. And this is another initiative that we have called 10,000 Ideas. So basically, while supporting startups, we are supporting ecosystem enablers as well. through this program, we are onboarding another set of ecosystem partners to run hackathon sort of programs. So they onboard university students and all the people who are somewhere around 15 to 25 years of age to this program. We don't have a specific age limit for this program, but that is the main focus group that we are thinking of. So they are bringing all these companies to these teams and startups to this program, and then they support, mentor, and train them throughout this process. And so by the name, you can see what is the output we are expecting. So we want to see at least 10,000 new ideas through this program. So we are supporting them to coming up with validated business ideas through this program, even by supporting the ecosystem providers, enablers. And this is another program. So since I mentioned about spiralation program earlier, the grant program, so this is the pre-incubation program that we have. So there are certain things when you are planning to go to the other markets, when you go and start earning money, there are certain other things that you really need to think of to refine your business. So we have another program called STEP, and we very recently finished our second round in 4th May, and we will be continuing this throughout. And so you can get on board with this program as well, and refine your business idea and start your business right after this, because we are supporting them. At the end of the day, the ultimate purpose of STEP program is to get you to the market. So likewise, there are multiple programs that we run. And as you can see, there are so many market access opportunities that we can provide. It's not just about ICTA. These organizations are working together with other ecosystem enablers also in country. These are some of the few names that I have mentioned in this slide. So if you take Hatch, Lankan Angel Network, so those sort of entities are also working with these international partners. So you have a lot of market access opportunities out there when you get into this space. So I thought of sharing this slide also with you. As you can see, so we took this map from ITC report in 2018. So you can see University of Sri Jayewardenepura is also here. And this node should get much more bigger right now, because University of Sri Jayewardenepura is working with a lot of entities that are out there right now. This was in 2018, and we are very much connected with University of Jayewardenepura as well. So this is a very well connected ecosystem, I would say, the entrepreneurship support ecosystem here in Sri Lanka. Since the country is so small, if you really want to get in touch with another person, he's just one call away. If you don't have the contact, you can simply talk to another person who knows that person and contact that person. So that advantage is always there, and it's very well connected, just like you see. So because of this reason, so you can also always get further support when you are getting into this space. It's very supportive. They are, because I'll give you an example. In the Spiration program, we conduct normally 8 to 10 workshops every year, and these resource people who are conducting these workshops, so far they haven't taken a single penny to conduct these workshops, because they are doing it voluntarily, since they see the impact that we can create out of it. So very supportive ecosystem, I would say. So if you are getting into this space, you will learn so much more. You will get that support continuously. And so finally, I actually thinking of sharing this slide to show you how this startup ecosystem has grown over the past decade. So in 2010, only this ICTA Spiralation Tech Incubator was there. So Venture Engine, YAL Geek Challenge was there at that time. But with that, from 2010 to 2021, how many things have happened? So right now we have a online platform, national online platform called Startup SL. So you can register your startup there in Startup SL platform, and at the same time you can get so many benefits out of it. Even AWS cloud credits for free. And we are planning to give Microsoft credits up to $150,000. So that is also happening right now. So they can get so much of benefits. Even if you're a new startup, if you are planning to bid for a government project, for government procurements, even though you are having lack of experience in that space, we are giving that opportunity through Startup as a platform. If that procurement is less than 2 million rupees, you can bid for that particular procurement or for that project, because that procurement is exclusive for startups here in Sri Lanka. So there are certain changes that we have done to support our startup ecosystem. And we have identified some of the main barriers that these startups are going through. So in 2020, we have done a report, a startup impediment report together with PwC, and we are working together with TRCSL, ROC to remove those barriers. It's a very difficult task, I would say, to change the culture and the structure and the processes of these organizations, but we were able to succeed in some of the organization, and this mission is still going on. And so we'll able to see more success stories in the future. So likewise, there are so many things are happening right now in our startup ecosystem, so many opportunities. So if you get into this space, I can guarantee that you will get so much benefits. Just like you being an employee in an organization, being an employer is a very privileged thing. So you will be able to experience that, and you will be happy about it at the end of the day, because you can create much more impact by being an entrepreneur, by giving others jobs and bringing money to the country, export revenue to the country, and make this country a better place. So with that note, I'm going to conclude my session. And if you really want to get in touch with us, you can always talk to me, write to me via my email. It's nevindari@icta.lk, or I'm available in LinkedIn. So you can contact me, get in touch with me. And so you always have access to your lecturers. So we are working together with them. They are being so supportive to you, I know. So you can always get in touch with them and seek further support from them as well. So with that note, so if you have any questions, you can simply ask, and I'm going to conclude this session. And thank you very much once again for giving me this opportunity. Over to you, Pasindo.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nevindari, for your informative session. Hope you all got plenty of knowledge from this valuable session. If you have any questions, now the time to ask these questions from her. You can unmute your mic, or you can even put the question to chat box. I can shoot it to her.
So until then, I'll type my email address and our general startup email address here. So if anyone wants to get in touch with us, they can simply contact us through this.
Thank you.
I have a small question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Madam, when we talk about the startups and we are having some trouble with the knowledge gap in some areas of business, and let's say we are having some knowledge about coding part and UI UX design, but when it's come to the networking side, that is not in our great sound. So how can we fulfill this knowledge gap from the perspective of startup? Or does ICTA help over this?
Definitely, Ranta. Thank you for asking this question. So we will be able to support you in that case. So one thing that you can simply do is right now. So this is a very ad hoc request. So we are not getting this request from a group of startups. So because of that reason, what you can simply do is you can, just contact me right after this session. So you need some support on UI, UX and the technology aspect of it, right?
Actually, not from that side. Actually, the networking part is the most important aspect for us.
Right. So when it comes to networking, what I would strongly suggest you is Iranta. So if you are you in Facebook?
Actually, no, madam.
Okay. LinkedIn?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So LinkedIn is a great place to, get connected with other people. So the reason why I ask Facebook is there are so many promotions going on when it comes to these networking partners and ecosystem enablers. And that is the main space for all these enablers to share their information. So if you are not a Facebook user, so even I'm not, quite active in Facebook when it comes to my personal information sharing, but this is what I basically use Facebook is for. So we can simply get in touch with these ecosystem enablers, these providers through social media channels. So LinkedIn is one, Facebook is another one, and most of them are getting to TikTok right now because they say that the organic reach that people can witness through TikTok. So it's basically the discipline that we have. So if you have that particular discipline, rather than just going through the people's life and getting more information about where you need to get developed, then you always seek for that particular information. And based on your searches and your readings, the next time when you're going through your feed, it always pops the relevant content only. So if I check my Facebook feed or LinkedIn, so basically I get all this relevant information about the startup ecosystem because I read that. So based on that, again, your feed updated normally based on what you read. So that's a great space where you can get in touch with these parties. So I can simply give you some names, Iranta. So Hatch, Lankan Angel Network, BOV Capital, YAL IT Hub, Dream Space Academy, Home Tree. So these are some of the active startup ecosystem players in our country. And they always share information about what is happening out there, what sort of networking programs and sessions happening there, the meetups, and even you can, get connected with Clubhouse. So many entrepreneurship related discussions are happening. So you can get to meet other people. So that's how this network starts. It's not just, just seeing a bunch of people out there and you say, okay, so I want to go and talk to this person. It doesn't, work like that because you have to build that trust. So you have to go there, be with them. Sometimes it's difficult to go there physically right now with the problems that we are having, but there are so many virtual spaces that you can meet these people. That's how we even go and talk to them. So if there's a Clubhouse discussion, just go and listen and just see who are the people who regularly comes into that discussions, and just start a chat with them, talk about their problems, also share your problem. Sometimes as soon as you share your problem, on the very next day you might come up with a co-founder also. So there were incidents like that. So it's always just go and talk to them matters, right?
Sure. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
You're welcome. Iranta, so basically you can write to me as well after this discussion, so I can, based on what based on your requirement, I can share some of the networking points that you can start with.
For sure, I will do, madam.
Okay, Iranta.
Ms. Devendra, I just want to ask a question, maybe regarding your presentation. You mentioned that ICT provides grants under spy relation. So there are grants, like they are not, they're just one once and for all you give them, and there's no other strings attached. Is that correct?
Yes, it's a grant. It's a 1.5 million rupees that we are giving for each and every startup. So basically, we are not keeping any equity. It's simply a grant. So just like the word means, it's a grant. But we are not just giving that right away. So we actually educate them on what are the main things that they should think of when they are running their business. So we ask them to prepare 6 months to 1 year of time period roadmap. So what are the things that they're planning to do during that time? And we ask them to prepare that. And at the same time, based on the nature of that particular startup, we also see what are the main areas that they should improve. So maybe now they have clients here in Sri Lanka, but if we see the potential is not here, the potential is somewhere in a country like India or in European region. So we know that's the next step that they should think of. So we sit with them together. We come up with set of deliverables. So they need to go to this, for an example, let's say UK market within next 3 months of time period. They have to basically improve their sales pitch, and they should pitch to another 3 potential clients during 3 months, and increase their sales funnel, the sales conversions. So likewise, we give them certain targets where we also can support them, and they have to work on it. It's, they just cannot, sit on it and, wait. They have to work hard. At the same time, when they are working hard, we are also pushing them and supporting them to get that done. We make the relevant connections. We bring them people to the this space and, ask them to support these startups. So that's why we have over 75% rate of success also in Spiralation program. We see a few failures. Normally, startups 10% only get success, but here is 75%. So we have a very nice use case in Spiralation program because of that reason, because of the support structure that we have. So we have no strings attached, but to give that money, we push them and they have to achieve it. If it is a justifiable reason, if they can't achieve it, then it's understandable. But throughout that process, we give them 1.5 million. So far, all of them got that 1.5 million by achieving that. There were no such incident that we couldn't give that 1.5 million for all these 120 startups.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
If you have any more questions, you can ask now. Okay, seems like no questions so far. So now it's time to take our group photo. Please make sure that you have turned on your camera. Thank you very much. Today we have two proud alumni of the Department of Information Technology to share their experience with you. Our first alumni for today's session is Mr. Geet Balasuriya. He is currently working as a senior investment manager at DEG. Mr. Geet Balasuriya, I warmly welcome you to today's workshop and we would love to hear your story.
Sorry, Pasandu, just interrupt you. So I think we should thank our keynote speaker first because she can leave. I think she had busy schedule. Maybe she'll be leaving.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much, Mr. Navind Premaratne, for your valuable session. I think all the students got plenty of knowledge from your session.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Thank you very much for inviting me for this session. It's a great honor once again.
So, Mr. Geet Balasuriya, I warmly welcome you to the session and over to you.
Hello, hi, good morning. Thanks, Pasindu. And I think I would firstly like to thank Lasit sir for inviting me today. And I think it's not the first time, so we did this couple of times in the past. I hope you can clearly hear me, right? Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So I think we've done a couple of sessions in the past as well. I think it's very interesting to talk to you people who are ready to step into the corporate world and was ready to maybe start your own companies or like the businesses or whatever the venture that could be. So I hope the things that that I'm sharing today about my career and how I started will enable you to enrich your baggage and will help you to support you in whichever the way that can shape up your career in the future. So firstly, let me just briefly tell you about myself. So yes, I think I'm currently working for German Development Bank and I'm heading the operations in Sri Lanka. So all my career I have been into finance and investment banking. So currently, I think as well, I think we are mostly doing private sector financing for Sri Lanka. And one other thing that you may wonder is that being an alumni of the Department of Information Systems, I think I was very proud to say that I was one of the first alumni. So I was, I think, one of the students who were like there were 20 students in the first batch of Department of Information Systems, and I was one of them. So having that background in the university, how did I end up as a finance professional? So I think that's the exact reason why Lasit sir wanted me here today to talk to you and just to tell you about what are the avenues that you have as you are ready to step into the corporate world. I think so. In addition to my current role, I think I'm also like doing small things when it comes to consultancy, and also like recently started like a small startup with some of my colleagues. So yeah, so I'm also like still learning on entrepreneurship. So I think there are things that maybe I could share with you as well on those aspects. So going back, say 20 years, so I think I've graduated from the university in 2006. So say if I go back 15, 20 years, so university times, I think it was I think you all know, I think you are just ready to get graduated from the university. So these were like times where you were sometimes, you don't know exactly where you want to be and exactly what you want to do, whether it could be, whether you want to become like a corporate personality or whether you want to become an sort of like an entrepreneur. So I think even it was the same case during my time as well. But I think one thing that I want to tell you is that it's very important to know that what you love, and it's very important to know that where you want to be. I think those are some of the things that you have to decide now. And I think then it's all about like it's all about pursuing your career in that space. So I think during my time at the university, so I was in the department of IT, or the information systems, and I was already working when I was in my third year or the second year. So the reason why I did that was like because I wanted that exposure, the corporate exposure, and I wanted to see how things work in the real world. But I think some of you might already be working, but those who aren't, I think so. I mean, going and working in an organization, it's not only about like learning about doing certain processes or doing certain things about the job. So it's a lot more than that. So I think if I tell you about my career, so like when I started, so my first job was like first appointment that I got was like as an investments executive in Sri Lanka's largest insurance company. So it was a very flashy and very sort of like I was very excited. But but when I started working there, I realized that I was most of the time I was doing, like I was taking printouts, taking photocopies, taking like papers from this place to the other. So I mean, it was like 90% other things and maybe 10% related to investments. But still, there were things that you could learn. I mean, there were things that I learned. It's about like maybe the corporate politics. It could be about how to socialize with people. It could be about how to communicate with different people. So I think wherever, like whatever you do, whatever the role that you may take up, there will be things for you to listen. So yeah, so then I think then I knew that probably that this is not exactly what I wanted to do, and then I decided to move. And I think from that point, I think I because all throughout, like I knew where I want to be and what do I sort of what my dream was. So I think you all have dreams. I think it's all about like working hard and really like going for that dream. So I think then after that, after my first job, then I moved into my second job. Then by that time, I think I was more clear about how what do I need to learn, and how should I like sort of like uh, use my skills or use my the knowledge that I've learned in the university or in outside organizations, how I could best use them in my job. So I think for you also, like what you need to understand. I think I have met so many people from University of Rajadhanpur, as well as so many other universities and so many other people as well over the last 20 years working in different organizations. So I think what you learn and what we learn is mostly the hard skills. But I would say in the corporate world, what really matters, I mean, of course, technical knowledge, hard skills are very important. But I think what really matters is the soft skills. I mean, these could be very simple skills, like maybe how to talk to a person, how to convince someone about a business idea, how to communicate, how to sort of like present something, and it could be about negotiations. Like so, all these things are very important. I would say these things are more important than sometimes like your hard skills at a certain point in your career. So I think you have to pay enough attention to all these areas, because you will get highlighted in the corporate world because of these things. So and also like even if you come up with your own sort of business venture, even if you become an entrepreneur, I think it's very important that you are able to communicate and that you are able to convince someone about a business idea, or like whatever the idea that you have. I think that's I think that is the key for you to become a successful entrepreneur. So I think these are some of the things that I've learned during my career of like maybe 20 years. So the other things are like like what skills that you need. So in my case, so now the one question that probably why Lasit sir wanted me here was that, so I'm not a, I mean, I've studied information systems and I ended up doing finance. So I mean, you may wonder why. So I think the reason was like when I decided to study information systems, because I already had some background in finance and I wanted to have the versatility in me so that I know at least a little bit of everything. So I think it's important that you may become a finance professional, or you may become a marketing or an IT professional, but still it's important that you have these experiences, this knowledge in different areas, so that it will become very handy. Maybe when you become your own business, when you start up your own business, or when you become a corporate personality later on. And then I think another thing that I wanted to mention to you is about becoming sort of like, now that I have just sort of like spoken about my career. So what other things are more important? So I think what something that is very important to understand is that things won't be presented to you in a silver platter. So you might you have to work hard. So there won't be, you will not be having the optimal conditions to work in. You will have very difficult conditions sometimes. So these all are challenges, and these you have to face these challenges, and then only I think you can really go for your desired goals and dreams. And yeah, so I think these are some of the things that I want to tell you in terms of a career. So I think don't focus on one thing only. So just try to be versatile as possible. Just try to work on your soft skills, which are very important. I'm sure you have done number of presentations, hundreds of presentations during your 4 years of university. But I think you have to keep on sort of like doing that. I'm still learning how to be a better presenter, for an example, and I still attend certain training programs for that. So that's because like you can learn every day on some of these soft skills. Then I think today's theme was about becoming an entrepreneur. So I'm sure like most of us, or like at least 50-60% of us, or you guys will become an entrepreneur, or will have something on your own later in your career. So I think firstly, just to understand, can you raise hands, or can you just say how many of you want to become entrepreneurs? I don't know. There are about 30 odd students here, I assume. So, how many are there? Like, are there any students who already are entrepreneurs, who wants to become entrepreneurs? Okay, so I can see one hand. Okay, so yeah, so I think there are a few. So let me just yeah. So I think what you should know is like becoming an entrepreneur and becoming a corporate personality are totally two different things. Because like when you become an entrepreneur, it's sort of like like it's not very if you become a corporate personality, you can plan things well. You know what time you go to work, what time you come back, and you know like your daily routines are more or less set up, and you know at the end of the month you will get a salary. But when it comes to if you become an entrepreneur, it's so much more different. So it's life becomes very ad hoc. Sometimes sometimes you will have sleepless nights, and sometimes you have very stressful times. So I think these are some of the things that you need to understand. And also when you have an idea, I think it's very important that you like you see a gap somewhere, and or else this could be something that maybe to solve a problem, or it could be something to already, there could be a solution, but you may want to optimize it or make it better. So I think these are some of the ideas that you may have in becoming entrepreneur. So I think what you need to understand firstly is that these are totally two different roles. So becoming an entrepreneur to becoming sort of like a corporate personality. So I think I would say, including myself, So most of us become corporate personalities, maybe because we are a little bit more risk averse, so we are maybe more traditional. But I think if you know, I mean, most of the successful people in the world are people who have taken higher or like more risk than others. So I think again, whatever I mentioned, all these soft skills, all these like commitments that you have, the hard work, all these things apply, whether you become a corporate personality or whether you become an entrepreneur. Uh, so like, I think another thing that I want to mention is that if you want to become an entrepreneur, just don't think big, just start small, especially as university students. I think you may want to focus on areas where you don't have to really invest a lot of money. So maybe you can just look at some like areas where you don't have to invest a lot. Maybe it's not very asset heavy. It could be related to IT, could be related to something else where you can start with whatever the minimum amount of money that you have. And also like you take small steps. I mean, you don't have to think okay, you can't expect to start up a business today and to maybe like start making money or start generating profits in few months time. If you're lucky, yes. If it's a brilliant idea, yes, possible. But still, there could be so many instances where you fail, but you have to get up and you have to be very tough. I think in your previous presentation, you heard that generally in the world, the success rate could be around 10%. But I just listened to I just heard that in Sri Lanka it could be like it's slightly quite high. But still, you should know that you are taking risk, and you have to have that thick skin to survive in these circumstances. And also, like I told you, it's all about skills, hard and soft. So I think you have to focus on these areas. So then again, so I think that's probably all what I have to say, given that we have limited time. And I think just two lines finally. It's all about the goal or the dream that you have. One thing I truly believe is that dreams do really come true. So if you really work hard, I mean, it has happened to me personally, professionally. There are so many dreams that became true. And the reason being is that you sometimes believe in them, you work hard, and you commit to your dreams. And then I think it becomes a lot easier. You will have failures, you will have multiple failures, but still, if you stick to your values, if you believe in your skills, and if you like believe in your dream, one day you will succeed. Yeah, so I wish you all the very best as students who are sort of like stepping into the corporate world or the like the business world. So I think as alumni, I think we all are there to help you. So I think all the very best, and I hope the little whatever the knowledge that I've shared will enrich your baggage and will help you in certain ways. Do keep in touch. I think I'm also on LinkedIn, so like if there's anything you want to discuss about, you can always reach out to us through maybe Lasitsa or directly. But I think I would like to sort of like give the opportunity to you to ask any questions if you have about like shaping up your career. How, I mean, you may have totally different dreams or wishes. So if that's the case, how you should sort of like approach that. So I think yeah, so I will leave it to you. If you have any questions, please do throw it at me. So I'm very much happy. I'm there to answer you. If not, I wish you all the very best in your future activities.
Thank you very much, Mr. Geet Balasuriya, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. I hope Right now, we don't have any questions because no one
Sure.
raised them. Now, I would like to invite the next proud alumni of our department, Mr. Prasanna Palagedara. He's an entrepreneur and the director of Envision and Sales Play Mobile POS. Mr. Prasanna Palagedara, I warmly welcome you to today's workshop, and we would love to hear what you have to add for today's session.
Okay, let me start my video. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Okay, and first of all, thank you very much, Polasis, for inviting me. We have done this earlier as well, and I really love to share my experience as an entrepreneur. First of all, I think all you are safe and sound, because we have a very tough time in Sri Lanka, a difficult situation. But we have to move on, right? I think entrepreneurship is the only way we if you want to become if you want to survive, I think. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Prasanna Pallegedara. I was in your seat. I mean, I was a former student. I completed my degree in 2008, and I joined Etisalat after that. At that time, actually, it was Tigo. Okay, I was initially I was working as a help desk member. That was the we don't discriminate, but that was a very basic level job, and it was not even a job, it was a training program. And I was there as a trainee in 6 months, and I was an opportunity to join the staff. Okay. I worked as a system admin, then application support executive, and 2011 I became software specialist. While I was working there, although my job is something else, I really love to develop software. So I started developing softwares. Sometimes after staying at 5 p.m., after working normal hours, I stayed at office and develop software for them. Actually, at that time, the software development was not allowed inside the organization. But when I work with people, because as a system admin, as a application support executive, we move around the departments and we meet people. I see that they were having difficulties when they do their jobs. So although software development was not part of my job, I wanted to give them solutions, because I love to develop software. So my intention was to give a solution. I mean, that attitude may be the reason where I am right now, because finally, actually, that organization allowed me to develop softwares in 2011. Because since the softwares I developed, they really appreciate that, because some of the softwares were very big, very handling very critical business processes. So they allowed me to develop softwares in 2011 of each year. That was the start of my software field. Why I tell you this? Because experience is the key. We should work somewhere and get experience. Okay. Don't think about the level of the size of the organization, wherever you go and take experience. Because end of the day, whatever you learn, whatever you study, whatever the exam you pass, I mean, the practical knowledge is the number one. Okay. So go and have practical experience that will lead you to your next step. Because I can see so many people, I have met so many people who start companies after completing their degree program or education. But when you have experience in organization, how other department works. I mean, how a real organization works. So that experience is important when you grow your business. Okay, because that is a practical experience. So I resigned in 2012 May and started Envision IT Solutions. To resign, actually, I had a reason, because we had developed big software, so they wanted to outsource them. So I said that I'll be your supplier. I mean, because if I am the one who developed, and if they wanted to outsource it, so why should I stay? I mean, I had no work to do there, right, after that. So I resigned and I asked them to give that software to maintain. Okay, that was the start. It was very ground zero level. We did not have anything. I had one person with me. He was also at he was a trainee, actually. And because since he did not have job, I mean, he could have left. I mean, he could resign at any time. And so we started a new company called Envision, and our first client was Etisalat. So that is how that was big. I mean, you can't get a project from such big companies if you just start your business after your education. So that's why, I mean, you have to work, you have to get your experience. So we started Envision IT Solutions 2012. As I said to you, we did not have anything, we didn't have luxury. We had only 2 laptops, and my last salary. Okay, so but that was the risk we took, right? That was a risk. I mean, what we but I had, I mean, I had a always, I mean, I always dream big. We have to dream big. I mean, practically we have to dream big, and we should start small. That's right. Okay, because we can't wait every small thing completed. I mean, sometimes I see people wait to apply jobs until English language is, when they have a good English knowledge. I mean, that is not required. You have to apply. You have to start somewhere. You can start. There are so many people. I mean, you can't wait until something finished. You have to start. Then you can acquire the knowledge. Okay. So I started Envision IT Solutions in 2012, and we were working with Etisalat, and we got other opportunities as well. We work with Airtel, we work with Dialog in some cases. So we were working with them, but in 2015 there was an incident that Etisalat wanted to stopped their software support agreement with us. So that was a very good thing, you know. I mean, every bad thing is opportunity for us. Okay, so we should not you know complain. We should not what you call. I mean, we can't stop, right? I mean, as I said, we dream big. We committed to what we do. So my expectation was after that not relying with big people. That was a strategic decision. We didn't want to rely on big people. We want to rely on people. I mean, not only rely on 1-2 people. I mean, we have to rely on so many companies. Maybe I mean, maybe small. We rely on a small people. Number of people, number of customers should be high number. Okay, so we started going international. It was not. I mean, it was not easy, as I say initially, but initially it was difficult, right? I mean, finding the right contact, finding right opportunity is not easy, but we were able to develop one system with US company, and actually it started 2014, end of 2014, but still we are providing them support and you know, software development support. Company called Comscope, and it's a very big company. It's a multinational, multi-billion company. They provide their services to the world's largest telco companies in the world, like AT&T, Verizon, Cox Communication. Okay, so we develop software for them. I mean, that is a wonderful thing, because you know, if we stuck where we were, I mean, we couldn't find those opportunities. So some bad situations are opportunities. So you should think like that. And in 2017, we started another company called SalesPlay Private Limited. Now it is also a multinational company. We started from Sri Lanka, but we developed that software as you know, software as a service, SaaS. Okay, and we implemented that software on AWS, you know, Amazon Web Services, and allow customers to use as a SaaS service. Now we have customers all around the world for SalesPlay software. If you go and search in Play Store, you can find the SalesPlay. There are many customers. Even we have partners in countries. Right now I'm in Dubai because we have to relocate some of the staff in Dubai. So even Dubai, we have a customer, partner. We have customers anyway. I mean, we also have partners. Partners, what they do, they sell our software in their countries. Because you know, we can't go to every country and sell our software. We don't have sales staff. We don't have people in that country. So we have to go through a partner channel like that. I mean, so you see that how we think. I mean, that is what you should learn. I mean, that is what you should. That way you should think actually. So as I said, I will highlight some of the key qualities that you should have if you want to become a real entrepreneur. Okay, it is not about English language. It is how you work. I mean, how you are. That convert you as a real entrepreneur. Okay. First thing is you should have experience, as I said. Okay, and it is the key. Okay, and dream big. Whatever you think big. Okay, don't think small. I mean, these days people, I mean, yeah, they are adjusting. They are now cycling, and they are. I mean, they shrink, right? I mean, they shrink themselves. I mean, okay. I mean, be practical is something that we should do. Definitely, that we have to act according to the practical situation. But that is not the ultimate thing you want, right? We want to go higher. I mean, so don't stop there. I mean, you think that is how you can expand, evolve. Okay, so dream big. Okay, and passionate what you do. I mean, you should do what really what you want to do. If you really believe it, if you really want to do it, do it. Okay. But there are some cases that you can identify at initial stage, this is not going to work. At that time, you stop that. Okay, because I'm wasting time is not something you should do. Okay. As an example, I started studying SLIM in 2008. I mean, studying is also always good, but as I was thinking to become a marketer, okay? But I realized that it is not going to work with me, and I will not be a marketer. That I realized, I stopped that. But I passed that exam, foundation level exam. I mean, I did it very well, but you should feel that. I mean, nobody is going to give you something. You have to decide yourself. Okay, so you are the one who decide. You are the one who create your future. You are the one who can bring your future what you want. Okay. So like that. I mean, if you feel something is not going to work with you, stop. But if you really believe that it is the one you want, commit to that, because 100% it will work. If you have confidence, if you are really committed, if you don't give up, it will work. Okay, so this is practical, and that is why I tell you. Okay. And also, I mean, you should not rely on others always. I have seen people, they're relying on others. No, I mean, we work as a team, but we should not rely on other people all the time. And because end of the day, you should be a responsible person, right? I have met many people, many employees. I don't call them actually employees, but they're like my friends. But some people have some attitudes that that will not work with us, that may not work with us. So we'll tell them, and we sometimes we try to get them into our track. Sometimes they have to leave. I mean, this is how it works. So, but some cases, you are going for a job, but if that job is not suitable for you, you can resign. Okay, as I said always, I mean, you should do what you feel. That is the main secret, main thing in this entrepreneur, to become entrepreneur. If you want to do that way, I mean, and right now, actually, I want to tell you that we have two companies. Those, as I said, those started from ground zero. We have now 45 people. That is not a very big staff, but we pay very high salaries because they do tremendous job. We have to take care of. That is, as a leader, I mean, you should think as well, because if we don't feel others' pain, I mean, there is no point to become a leader. You should pain others. You should feel others' pain. Whatever we do, I mean, they should benefit. They should have the benefit. In Sri Lanka now the situation is very worst because of high inflation. But here, the key thing is entrepreneurship is the path to success. Okay, so if you want to become a normal person, you can apply for a job and go. I mean, whatever. I mean, as a first step, I mean, you should apply for a job and take the experience. But if you have the opportunity, if you feel that it is the right time, go and start your business. Don't wait until everything completed, because we have to take the risk. Otherwise, you can't have that gain and return. So take this risk. Start your business. Don't think locally as well. You think international. You should think internationally, because if you want to be in software field, there are so many opportunities you can do. Even we receive so many inquiries. Sometimes we don't do them, so we'll pass to some other people we work with. Like that, I mean, there are so many opportunities. I mean, as a software industry, our region is in a key area because of we are very close to India as well. So that is those are the things I want to tell you. I mean, if you have questions, ask me. I have interviewed people like you, I mean, many times, and I think you have very good future, because you are in IT sector. So that is my story. I mean, that my story may be not structured, but I believe that you get some idea. If you have any questions, please ask. I can give the answers. Okay. And finally, actually, I should thank to Lasisa and other staff members. Thanks for inviting me, and I really appreciate it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prasanna Pallagedara, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Furthermore, I need to specially highlight that Mr. Prasanna is the main sponsor of our very first DHAC competition, and he is connecting from Dubai today. So thank you very much, Mr. Prasanna, for your support of our department. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Vasanthi. Okay.
Now it's time for Q&A session. If you have any question, please ask them now from our proud alumni. You can even put your questions to chat box as well. So, Mr. Prasanna, I have one question. if somebody, now we are in a IT sector, but if somebody is going for to start a startup in a different sector, what is the guidance or thought
I
about
mean,
that?
you mean we are in IT sector that now, but we are going to start a business in another sector. Is
Yeah.
that your question? Yeah. Whatever the field, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, as I said, if you believe, I mean, if you really think that field is going to work with you, I mean, you should go. I mean, IT is not the only field, right? I mean, we have friends. I mean, even my friends, they have started business in separate sectors. Even in other countries, we have friends in London and UK. We have friends in Australia, and they have started business in other field. So that is up to you. I mean, you have decided. And, you know, I mean, if we start a business, you know, there are scales. We can start a business from ground zero, as I did. Okay, that was very difficult because, you know, at that time even a bank did not offer any loan. I had an incident. You know, I couldn't pay the salaries in 2012, I mean, end of 2012, because we started company in 2012 May. I couldn't pay salaries on 2012 December because of the delayed payments. But you know, bank did not do that, and that is how our bank system works. Okay, because they give loan to the people who have properties, and who are rich. I mean, starting is like that. You can't expect all the things perfectly. You know? That is why we should have backbone. That is why we are here. That you should have that courage. That is how you overcome those situations. And also, I mean, you should not what you call you should have alternatives. I mean, because you face challenges all the time, you can't stop your work. I mean, you can't stop your journey. So you should have alternatives. If that does not work, we'll do this way. Okay. So wherever what is the way, I mean, you are achieving your dreams and achieving your targets. That is how you should think. So whatever the field, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. You can definitely succeed.
Thank you, Mr. Prasanna. Mr. Geet, do you have anything to add?
Hello, hi. Sorry, so what was the question, person?
So my question is like, now we are in IT sector and you guys are also from IT sector. If we are going to start a startup business in a different sector, like apparel or something like that, what's your comment about that?
I think as I told you in the beginning, one difference is that okay, you know, like if you look at certain sectors, there could be some of these sectors could be very capital intensive, and it's very asset heavy. So for that you need a lot of investments. Unless you are looking at certain solutions, you know, like created for some of these other sectors. I mean, that too will be tech related. So I think because our audience is mostly the university students, I think one of the key challenges would be the access to finance. I think so. In that aspect, I think so. Sector really doesn't matter, assuming that you have all the you know, like as long as you believe in your dream, and if you have a great business idea. But then again, in certain other sectors you might have the limitations like funding, because these certain some of these sectors will need a lot of we will need a lot of funds. So the problem is like whether you really as a person who's really starting up for the first time, whether you want to whether you want to risk it with maybe all your capital that you have, or whether you want to first, understand how to sort of like become an entrepreneur with maybe very sort of like asset light sort of a business model where you don't have to invest a lot, but still you have a good business idea. And then maybe you pitch it with another party who could be sort of like your business partner who's willing to invest partially in the venture. So I think that's something very important as well. So you yes, sector really doesn't matter if you have a brilliant idea, but at the same time your challenges could be much harder when it comes to especially funding if you look at some of the asset heavy industries. So it could be apparel or it could be any other sector. Yeah, so I think that's something that you need to be look at. But then again, even if you have a solution for some of these sectors, it could be, like it could be sort of like automobiles, or it could be, like apparel. But then you have the business idea, you know how to execute it, but then you have to have the skill, the soft skills to convince maybe some of your business partners, or to get some of the business partners on board to invest with you. Because I assume at that age, just after the university, definitely I didn't have a lot of capital at that time. So I assume this is still the case with most of the university students, because you don't have a lot of money to just play around with.
Thank you, Mr. Geet. And there's one question from student. Is it really necessary to get some working experience before starting your own startup?
If I take that, it's a sort of like a yes and no sort of an answer. So no, you don't need that. I mean, it's not a must. But personally, I think it's always good to have some sort of an experience just to understand how organization sort of like operates. Because like even on a later time, when your business grows, it might be easier for you to digest some of these like structural issues, maybe some of the organizational issues, because you have been there and you have experienced it. But having said that, it's not a must. I mean, there are so many people who have become maybe just after university, you don't work anywhere, and then you just become very successful entrepreneur. So it's not a must. But I think it adds value if you maybe work in I mean, not for a long periods of time, maybe even for 1 year, just to understand how this like organizational structures work. Because what you are planning to build is something similar, maybe 15-20 years down the line. So yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Geet. Mr. Prasanna, would you like to add?
Yeah, I agree with actually what Geet said. It's not a must, but if you have that experience, it's a plus, Actually, it depends on what you are going to do, really. I mean, let's say a web development company. Web development companies mostly does not need a lot of what we call technical experience. Most people start those things like after their education. Web development companies, they may start social media companies, what you call e-marketing. Those things actually just do not require a lot of technical knowledge. But if you want to develop softwares with high technical knowledge, because you have to get that experience. So where you take those experience? That's a question. So because otherwise you are not going to have any projects, right? I mean, if you want to work with big companies, you have to have that knowledge. That's why. So that is based on your level as well. So the scale. So I always think having experience in a company is a plus, because it will boost your startup. That is how I think. But in some cases, some businesses, you don't need a lot of technical skills, and you don't need a lot of funds as well. So you can start immediately. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Basani, for your valuable inputs. Student, do you have any questions? You can ask now. It seems like no question from the audience more. So we are so grateful to you all again for joining us today despite having a busy schedule and for sharing your journey and experience with us. This session was really important and we had a lot from it. Next up, I would like to invite Chaturi to deliver the vote of thanks. Chaturi, over to you.
Pasindu, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so a very good morning to you all. It is my privilege to have been asked a vote of thanks on this occasion. So I, on behalf of all the students, extend my most sincere thanks to the keynote speaker of our Career Launchpad episode 5, Ms. Nevindri Premratna, Senior Manager, Startup Ecosystem Development of ICTA, who spared time from her busy schedule to grace this occasion. Thank you for inspiring and encouraging us with your knowledge and experiences. And our proud alumni speakers, Mr. Geet Balasurya, Country Manager of German Investment Corporation, Mr. Prasanna Pallegedara, Founder and Managing Director of Envision International and Sales Play Private Limited. Thank you for providing your immense support to make this workshop successful despite of your busy schedules. And I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Professor Rasit Gunawardena for coordinating the Career Launchpad program. And a big thank you to our head of the department, Dr. Mahesh Fernando, and all the lecturers from the Department of IT for your cooperation in the institution of this workshop. Finally, I would like to thank all my colleagues who have turned up from our department. And thank you so much for your cooperation and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chatri. With that, we have come to the very end of the episode 5 of BIS Career Launchpad 2022. And we will be meeting again with the next episode. Till that, have a good day and stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.